Hey guys, what's new?
What I miss?
How's it going? Bert, sincerely, I want to say congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you.
And personally, I want to add, how dare you?
How could you do this to me?
How could you do this to me personally? Do you know how much a CT scan costs? I have no idea because I've always had insurance. But more importantly, Hulu without ads is $18.99 a month.
Sorry.
I have to watch Love Island. I can be a social media producer, 31 years old, living in my mother's basement, but I cannot be an unemployed 31-year-old living in my mother's basement. I am going to be walking around the Beltline, green hair, looking like every barista for some reason, walking around at 11 a.m., no job. This is not okay. Which is why.
Are you making a pitch right now?
I am. I want everyone listening. I want you to hire me. I am a very viable employee, okay?
Cosign.
Thank you. I have a list of qualifications and skills that I think makes me a very valuable person for your particular team, okay? I like to Photoshop memes.
You're very good at it. You are very good at that.
I'm good at that.
When you photoshopped Bert and his chest hair onto the cover of GQ, it was like Travis Kelce was never there.
Brilliant.
That was
really
great work.
brilliant.
Personally, I'm very proud of that. That is going up on my website.
Hang it in the Louvre.
Okay, I'm good at Photoshop. My emphasis is in video editing. So I do a lot of short form video content. I am a content creator. I am a copywriter. I write the podcast titles and descriptions that bait you into listening to the Bert Show. Let's see, what else do I do? Oh, I'm drone certified. I can fly a drone. I can literally fly a drone commercially. I'm a pilot.
That was not a far jump.
Yeah, let's stop on the drone for a second.
I'm intrigued. Do you have to get certified to fly a drone?
I have a literal FAA license for a remote pilot certification.
Is that right?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, that was for my previous job, and I have not used it here. But I still feel like it adds to my resume. Okay, I'm going to give each of you 15 seconds to talk about how great I am as an employee and why someone should hire me. Please go.
All right, who would you like to go first?
Bert, please.
I got nothing. Who else?
He's talked out.
No, man. I mean, you said it all. I mean, we've said everything about you leading up to this. You're fantastic, dude. Any staff would be not only your work, but your attitude.
Yeah.
So much of what we do in so many offices should be about chemistry. So when you're trying to put together an entire show or you're trying to put together an entire office, chemistry has something to do with it also. Yes, she's super qualified and great at what she does, but she brings the heat every single day. I mean, she adds to the chemistry every day, and that matters.
And you are sneaky funny, friend.
So funny.
So, you were here. I don't think you said a word for, your first year here.
Yeah.
And then, we get you on the air, and we're like, where has this girl been hiding? So, you are very accomplished at what you do. But on top of that, I second what Bert said about your personality. You're a blast to hang out with. You're a very hard worker, and you have humor for days.
Thank you.
Hold on a sec. Just so before we go around the room, just so I got this right, I announced my retirement 10 minutes ago, and now you're pitching for a job.
I need a job. Okay. I need money.
She's not the only one. I just submitted my first application. I haven't said nothing. I'm like, what do you mean I can't? You're telling me I'm unemployed and I can't apply for jobs? I'm not wasting a second.
Did you seriously?
Yes. Seriously.
Okay, I'll speak in the metrics that hiring managers want to hear. Rebecca's an excellent employee. She has great communications skills. She is very, very creative. She's wonderful. If you give her a project and say, run with it, she will. If you give her a project and you're like, this is the exact direction I want, she will also do that. Works well with others, works well alone. She is hyper creative, a great writer, and multifaceted. She can handle digital, print, writing, video, photo, editing. Photoshop is a huge skill.
Your comments on our social media post always slap.
Yes, good
Thank
community
you.
management. I mean, honestly, you are the entire package in one person. So if you're looking for anyone in communications or social, Rebecca is your girl.
Do you hear that? Pull over right now. Email me, landcast.rebecca@gmail.com. I can be yours.
All right, Abby, you close this out for Rebecca because you know her the best, also being her good friend. And then in the next break, we'll let you pitch yourself.
Okay, no. My entire career has been a pitch for myself. If anybody's been listening in the radio industry, this is It doesn't get better than this. This is where I peaked. Nobody makes me laugh harder than Rebecca. She is not just sneaky funny. She is haha, laugh, giggle, kiki, haha, funny. She is an incredible TikTok actor / actress. She always has her finger on the pulse of what's cool and what's fun. And if you can travel with me to 2 foreign countries for extended periods of time and still like me and want to be my friend at the end of it, I think that speaks volumes for your patience.
Let me give you guys a little bit of peek behind the scenes here because I know you love tea. There was no way for me to bring everybody over to Pioneer. So Cassie is coming over to Pioneer. Am I allowed to announce that?
Yes. Surprise! I'll be there full time now.
Jackson is coming on over to Pioneer. Katie will be employed by Pioneer also. I just don't have all the positions, so there's not one yet for Rebecca. Tommy, I'm not really sure. What is your plan, dude?
Well, I've told you guys a couple months ago, I want to go full-time RVing. So I'm looking for a gig where I can work from the road and fulfill this dream of traveling the country with my wife and my dog Coco.
Are you going to get one of those water bottles where you can put all the state park stickers on it, and so you can collect them like as you like travel throughout the United States?
No.
Oh, you don't drink water. Never mind.
It's a Mountain Dew bottle.
All that for that.
Is Renee down with that?
Yeah. I mean, especially when she heard the Bert Show was ending.
She was a little more on board.
Yeah, a little more on board.
And Abby, I don't worry about you, man.
You should.
I mean,
like,
at least professionally.
Please, for the love of God, someone worry about me.
She's like, have you spoken to my mother? Because she's worried about me.
So, as a guy that does a lot of hiring in this industry, so many shows are looking for exactly what you are, and we will place you. I will just say that. You're going to be all right.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Is this where I get to pitch to Atlanta radio stations?
Go for it.
If you have been listening to me and you're like, wow, Abby from the Bert Show would be so fun on insert radio station here in Atlanta, this is your chance. I have a lease I'm willing to re-sign for with the right contract. So if you want me and my hot neighbor to work out, believe in love and keep me in the 404.
Abby literally has been sitting on sending out her resume because she knew the announcement was coming today. And I asked everybody, can we just keep this thing quiet until we make the announcement? We weren't even off the air where she's sending out resumes and stuff already. And in a mediocre way, maybe excited about one. And I keep saying, you're going to be fine. Don't stress. Don't take something out of desperation.
Have you met her? This
I
is
know.
the queen catastrophizer. Her anxiety pings higher than any person I've ever met in my entire life. Yet you refuse to go to therapy. You're driving me crazy. Don't say you can't afford it.
I'm unemployed, Kristen. I can't afford therapy.
You are not unemployed.
Not
you have money
yet.
coming in until January. So you're okay up until then. I said to Abby earlier this morning, I'm so glad this is all unfolding the way it is. I told Abby this morning that I don't tend to catastrophize the way she does, but when things go on in my life, I tend to obsess over them. Like, it's on my mind all the time, and then I start to get frustrated that I can't escape from the thoughts and stuff like that.
Oh, you're a ruminator.
I am a ruminator when I'm out of control, and there's the waiting for me is the worst part, having the patience, right? So I'm ruminating it and I'm trying to keep myself busy with everything else. My therapist a couple of weeks ago said, look, if this was really a new Bert and you were going to handle this kind of anxiety differently than you have in the past, how would you show up? And when you can answer that and then you start turning into the person that you think that you want to be, that's the first step of it. So I don't know, man, maybe use this because there's a lot of stuff going on in your life right now. I understand at 28 years old, you're insecure about not being part of the show. You thought you were going to be here for a while, and now you have to pick up, maybe leave the city, find a show, which is not easy in this industry at all, because this is really a unicorn, to be honest with you.
It is.
I understand that, but if you were going to handle the stress differently, what would you do differently?
So I've been thinking about that for as long as I've had the news. And the one lesson I've learned from looking back on things that felt like this is worst case scenario is every time something that has felt like worst case scenario has happened, the only way things get better, and I am able to find those unicorns in my life is if I recognize that every worst case scenario situation you find yourself in is an opportunity to make something out of it. There have been so many situations in my life that I'm like, this feels like a life ending thing. And every time I've been able to pick myself up from it, it has always turned out better than I expected. So I'm catastrophizing and making jokes because this is how I cope. And like, you know, vocalizing it is a way for me to laugh about it rather than cry, even though I've done plenty of that. But for me, I'm looking at the mistakes I've made. And every time I've just sat in, this is the worst thing that could happen. It has always made things worse. So why am I going to see this as worst case scenario when I can just see it as an opportunity to try and make something better out of it?
How you handling it?
It's been a roller coaster of emotions. And for a multitude of reasons. Like this is very layered and very nuanced, and
There's still some of it we can't talk about.
yeah, and it's going to be hard to articulate. And because I am the only Cumulus employee amongst the Bert Show, and this is like TMI. Everybody else is part of Bert Show LLC, while I am a Cumulus employee. And
Let me just explain why that is, because people would be like, why didn't Bert bring her on as one of his employees? It was really all budget.
yes,
I've got a small company, so at the time when your contract was up, I had the option, and Cumulus and your agent and I and you all decided that it didn't matter to you.
well,
either way.
technically, it didn't start as budget. That was the second. The first time was. It just is. My dad was dying of cancer, and I was in Orlando, and my contract was up, and I needed to resign, and I didn't want to move over like to new insurance, new this, new that. It was honestly just easier for me to stay with Cumulus and to move over to the Bert Show LLC, and that's just why it just stayed that way. And then it moved to budgetary reasons, right? So, and this is how we function, and it's been totally fine. So, now that this is public, my agent is in communication with Cumulus Programming, and you know we're working on what the future looks like for me in Q99.7 and within the company. And I am oddly resolved with everything. Like, I mean, don't get it twisted. The last 14 years of my life have been on this station in this building with you by my side, and I have thoroughly enjoyed this ride. Like I'm going to reiterate some of what you said earlier. This has given me some of the most monumental moments of my life, and I've not only through my career but my entire personal life. Like, we've shared all of those monumental moments along the way. And so, I mean, the amount of memories and blood, sweat, tears that have been, poured into this show because we wanted to succeed and we want to win. We're both highly competitive people. So being in a ratings-based gig works to my personality. But on top of that, I love what I do, and I love the connection that we have with our listeners. So trying to see myself in something different is odd, and I'm like equal parts terrified and equal parts exhilarated because I had a really, really fantastic conversation with a radio mentor of mine, and she and we talked for like an hour and a half, and I was just like verbal vomiting everything I was feeling, and she really honestly helped me change my mindset. As far as you don't know what possibilities are out there because you've always been under contract. Mm-hmm. So, and she goes, I know that's daunting and I know that's scary, but at the same time, like, you don't know what's on the other side of this because you've never been open to it. It's always been like, oh, well, duh, it's going to be the Bert Show because, I love it and it's a great gig, and why would I want anything else? But now that there are, truth be told, endless possibilities of which way I want my career to go, it is exciting, but it's daunting and it's terrifying. And, I'm not a huge fan of the unknown. And I think that's why you and I have always worked so well together, because we've balanced each other out. Like, you are Mr. Spontaneous. You see a schedule and you want to look at it and go, to hell with this. And and whenever we do a show and we literally get to nothing that's on the schedule, like, you're like, that was the greatest show ever. And where I'm very much a planner. I'm organized. My schedule, I like having a plan of action, and that to me builds confidence and consistency and that stability. So to kind of be up in the air right now, it's not how I normally operate, but I'm learning to embrace it. And I think that that's what you have to do in situations like this, is whether we want to admit it and whether we want to acknowledge it or not, you are never done learning. You are never done growing, and you are never done evolving. And if you think there is some finish line, I hate to break it to you, but that finish line is death. Like we're constantly individuals and human beings that are learning to be the best versions of ourselves. And I think this chapter, this season, or this chapter that is closing, is teaching me to embrace that. And it's teaching me to have confidence in my abilities and my capabilities. And I've become a more resolute person in who I am. And I feel like because I have that, the right person will see that and the right opportunity will present itself.
I don't have any doubt at all. Have you had any thoughts? These were the most scary for me, is like not doing radio. Have you had any thoughts of like maybe there's something outside of radio?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you would be crazy not to put everything on the table. Like, I love radio, and I have a massive passion for it. And I think also radio is one of those mediums, and I've been doing this for 20 plus years, that once it gets into your blood, oh my God, like you can't get it out.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, you can. But it's one of these mediums, like it's one of the first forms of communication with people, right? And so when you look at the history of it and what it's done and what it's been for humanity over the years, I have like a true love and appreciation for this medium. And I could see myself staying in it, but I could also see myself pursuing other endeavors. At this moment, it's just kind of like, I'm trying to teach my son patience. And I am recognizing that I too can, like, these are the lessons I'm learning. I too can learn a lesson in patience. And I'm trying to be patient with the process and see what folds. I am really, and I'm not just saying it. For the longest time, I was like, I'm like, am I just saying this to like convince myself? But I am oddly at peace with everything, because I feel like the right opportunity is going to present itself, and I'm going to know. Like I'm going to know. I've been doing this for long enough. I've learned enough about myself that when that opportunity presents itself, I'll be like, that's what I'm supposed to be doing now.
How about you, Cass?
It's tough.
And again, if you're just tuning in this morning, we made a far more emotional announcement this morning that the Bert Show is going to be coming to an end October 24th. So we're all just this is the first time we've really talked to each other about it.
Yeah, I think I first interviewed with you when I was 24, and I started this job when I was 25, and I'm turning 40 this weekend. So it feels like a very beautiful wrap, but it's going to be hard to navigate. I mean, this is the longest I've ever been in any gig. I would say, the majority of my working career. And I think it's going to be weird navigating life and rediscovering Cassie outside the Bert Show. Mm-hmm. Kristen, you mentioned earlier, everything in our lives is always content. And so to look at life as just life and not a story to tell. Although I have a feeling I'll still be doing that because I'm going to ramp up like my TikTok and stuff. But it's going to be nice, I think, to have some time. I'm going to be working for your podcasting company, obviously Pioneer, full-time as the CDO. But to rediscover myself and put some time into my passion projects, because I haven't had time to do that. And I've loved what I've done. And I would never walk away from this show just like Kristen, because it is a unicorn, and it's been so fantastic and so fulfilling. But I'm going to be launching a new podcast soon, which I'm really excited about. Never had time to do that either before. A little micro podcast, and really delving into things that I want to do and exploring myself as maybe a talent and putting myself out there more. And it's a new chapter. My house, it got ruined the year before last, or 2024. And I think when I'm looking at the universe and the fact that the Bert Show is ending, honestly, was a big sign for me that it's time to wrap up this chapter in a neat little bow and go on a new adventure. And so I'm really scared, but I'm really excited. Damn it, how am I crying more than you? This is the end.
I'm so glad you were the one to cry first because I'm like, it's embarrassing. I've been here like 2 seconds.
But yeah, a new adventure. So, I mean, honestly, Chad and I are looking at the entire world. We're considering moving to Amsterdam or Canada or somewhere else in the United States. Literally, it's finally a point in my life where the entire world is up for grabs. And because the Pioneer job is remote, we can move anywhere. And that is so exciting and thrilling and terrifying. And I can't wait. And I also never want October 24th to come.
The Bert Show.